Subscribe, join. What are you waiting for? Warrior, welcome. Welcome to a couple of things today that I want to share with you. You know, I can't say this enough. You should be out there preaching about this just as well, because what I am going to share with you is something that affects all of us. You may not be a parent, but you're an aunt, you're an uncle, you're a brother, you're a sister. You have friends that have children. It is incredible. It is unacceptable that in the United States of America, on any given day, 2,300 children are missing. Now, some studies say 2,000, some say 2,500, so we'll go with the 2,300. If one child is missing, that is too much. Do the math. This is hundreds of thousands of kids a year in the United States. So while the focus is put on all the other chaos, and I think you know what I mean about that, that's for a separate program, we should be talking about missing kids. Let's take the case as an example of little Cherry Mahan. She disappeared in Butler County, Pennsylvania in 1985. Now, recently a woman came forward because her mom and friends had formed a Facebook group. Now, this is where the internet can be great, it can be dangerous, but you just have to know what's going on, right? Because a reminder, again, we live in this digital internet online world, and that's where we are. So let's leverage it for good and not say we're not using it, we're not doing it, we're banning it. Those words don't exist for the warriors. So little Cherry got off the school bus, very rural road her house was off, about 150 yards. She got off the school bus with 3 other children, and poof, gone. Fast forward, she has been her name out there. Her mom's been keeping her memory alive with the Facebook group, and a woman recently stepped up claiming to be Cherry. Now, here's what I want to ask about all of this. It has proven, and the details are a little bit murky, that the woman was bullying and harassing other members of the Cherry Mahan Facebook group, so they kicked her off. Number one. Number two, law enforcement has said that her fingerprints were in the files, database, whatever. Again, very murky. Her mom came forward, Cherry's mom, Janice McKinney, and said, I don't think it's her, doesn't look like her. Although no photos, I can't find this person's name or photos of her. But the mom said 3 other times women have come forward claiming to be little Cherry. And it has turned out to not be. And the fingerprints don't match. So can you imagine? I can't imagine, as a mom, your child just disappears. I'm telling you all of this because today, in 2024, we have technology. All of these cold cases and all the little Cherries out there, their cases, we can never not investigate in 2024 going forward until we have definitive proof it is a child. The child, unfortunately, is dead. The child is alive. This is, under a different name, has been kidnapped. We have to keep going. And this is the part I don't understand. Although Cherry was declared legally dead in 1998, you have to, as a mom, as a parent, always maintain that little glimmer of hope. And Cherry's mom was doing this with the Facebook group. So I have a lot of questions as to if she got off the bus, with 3 other children on this very rural road. I mean, it's maybe a 2-lane. The only way you'd be on this road in Butler, Pennsylvania Butler County would be because you live. It is not a main thoroughfare. There were plenty of reports. Again, I don't know if they were, if they're true or accurate, of children all saying they saw a blue or a green 1976 Dodge van that was very recognizable because on the side of it, it had a landscape, a mural of a mountain with a skier on it. And one of the children from the bus said they saw this van behind the school bus. So there's lots of questions, but I ask you, as law enforcement wraps this up and says it's just not her, I find that to be unacceptable. You cannot tell a parent that we are not looking for your child. I don't want to hear that usual excuse of we don't have the resources, we don't have the manpower, We have to work on the most pressing cases. There is nothing more pressing than any child missing at all. And so I think more of our tax dollars that are going to all these different countries, our tax dollars that are going into everything that most of us with common sense don't want our tax dollars to go into. This is something that is bipartisan. We can all agree on missing children. And again, a reminder that 2,300, if that's the number we know about, it's in excess, because this crime, which again, I want to point out, why is everything to do with children so difficult, so hard, so we're not supposed to talk about it, or if we do talk about it, nothing happens. There are reports coming in that there are child detention centers from all of the unaccompanied minors crossing over our open borders. Last count from my sources is we have 10 million new people here. Illegals, 10 million. In excess of 500,000 unaccompanied minors. Think about that. That is staggering, 500,000. Again, the number's higher. Anything reported, talked about, number's always higher. Detention centers, because I keep saying, where are all these children in the United States? And remember, I may be in New York City where you say, well, that happens in the cities. All of this is coming to your town, to your community, to your rural area. And think about all the little cherries. I'm of the belief in a big city, it is in these rural places where children are preyed upon even more because it's easier. There are no eyes there, right? So we have to train and teach our children appropriately, steps to take to defend themselves. We have to keep an eye on our children at all times. We have to know who is their school bus driver, who are their teachers, who are their camp counselors, sleepovers. We have to be those investigators now because clearly our law enforcement is overwhelmed. They do not have, or there is not priority on all of this, to find all of the cherries out there. And how about these people who step forward and claim to be horrible? That's mentally ill. Why would somebody do this other than they're looking for attention, affection? This woman, as far as I can see, was not demanding any kind of money or blackmail, and she just disappeared. I want to remind everybody today we have the technology. If this woman was using a phone, a computer, the URL can be tracked down. Why isn't it? If it really is indeed Cherry, she could come forward to any law enforcement and be, DNA. So much has happened since 1985. This is cruel and unusual punishment for a mother, for a family member. We have to keep our eye on the ball, and that includes the 2,300 plus missing children every day in the United States. Where are they? Why am I hearing about child detention centers in the middle of the desert? Barbed wire, guards, fences, all of this stuff. We're keeping kids in these warehouses? I'm investigating that one, so I'll get back to you with more facts about that after I do some research that I have going on right now. Keep an eye on your children. Keep an eye on your children. I don't tell you these things to scare you, to frighten you, or want you to frighten your children. But the reality is we must step up and protect all children. Why, after all, nobody else is doing it. LynnsWarriors.org. Remember, community creates change. Keep an eye on the kids. Talk open and honestly with them. And each and every day, go out and be a warrior.